Fun, long-lasting, super efficient. Well, those are three words that I really want to use for one of my cool design that's named the MinWaow. The MinWaow is a paddle tail basically, but a paddle tail made of softer material. Means long-lasting, means also more kicking action than regular soft plastics. We came with two options, and those are absolutely great for largemouth and smallmouth bass, and that's really what the target of this video is for you guys, targeting like I do the freshwater basses. That is a true absolute killer with two options there that really complement each other. First, we have the MinWaow with injected colors coming with a jig head. That's a 8-gram jig head, fits a number of situations basically. The MinWaow have holes and slots in place, so when you put the jig head in place, you see there's a keeper on the hook that's made to fit into the hole that's underneath the sheen. So it's very easy and super sure that you will put the bait in the proper place 100% of the time. And that's one thing I noticed, because on most of plastic you don't already have holes and slots, so when you rig them, sometimes you just take to put the hook a bit sideways to basically kill some of the action of the bait, or even to bring the bait to twist when you retrieve it, leading to twisting line. So thanks to the hole, it's very easy and sure you're going to put the hook in place 100% of the time. Actually, make sure that for every on my bait you check the text and the drawings on the back. There's always a lot of explanation, and you can see on the drawing the holes and slots of the bait that helps you to understand very well how it is easy. Now, when you cast and retrieve a paddle tail on a jig head, typically you just cast and retrieve. You may change a variation of the retrieve, the speed of retrieve. But here, one of the cool things is you can make a pause on bottom, and actually the jig head will come, land on the bottom, but the tail will stay up. So you can make pause, swim a bit, make pause, swim a bit. That's a great action, especially when the bass are not really heavily chasing after prey. That's a great way to target them. Very, very efficient. That's in the case you use this one on the jig head. Now, if you want to fish in some level of cover, then we have the Pro model. Pro means simply they are painted, so better finish, a bit more expensive, but a better, more realistic finish. And as you can see, we have that wide gap hook with a weight, and thanks to that, now we have a very weedless bait, very snagless, can cast into heavy cover. Much more kicking. When I say much more kicking than regular soft plastic, truly, if you compare this paddle tail with any other paddle tail of the same size and a paddle that's about the same size as well, you're talking of 2 if not 3 times more kicking action. You're talking of a 4-inch bait that when you retrieve it, you actually feel it in your rod, and you even see the rock tip shaking. That's how much powerful vibration and swim action we do get by using this lure made of soft tough material. But it's buoyant, and here also there's benefits to that. So if you want to fish and sometimes kill the bait, let it dive, the bait will dive with an angle, and once it reaches the bottom, only the weight will touch the bottom, and it will make a pause in a natural position. You can use that if you fish on a bed, for example, and cast on the bed where bass are. You can also, if you have a fish that follow and don't bite, that's a great way also to target them. Kill the bait, let it dive, and you're sure the position will stay. And I have a number of times where doing absolutely nothing end up to bring a bite. So it's really important. You swim it, let it dive, pause on the bottom. Don't be afraid to wait, especially if it's a good fish. Give it 30 seconds, give it 1 minute. If it's really a very good fish, that's worth the wait. And swim again. And it will do that at any depth. So that means if you're fishing, say, in January, and you have a shad dying off of the cold, well, you can swim it, and then you can kill it and just do nothing. Let it dive. And your bait fish all the way on the dive will be attractive. The pectoral fins actually are truly in 3D, so every time you pull or let them dive, they have some kind of action. So it's very minimalist, but it's really the kind of teeny detail that in a finesse approach that turn on bites. And you can let dive, I mean, like 30 feet deep if you want. When the bait fish die off, some float, but some just dive to the bottom and then swim a bit, let it dive again, so you truly mimic that dying bait fish with a great action. Very long lasting, again, thanks to the material and thanks to the holes. When you typically hook the bass, and the bass is fighting and jumping and shaking head, well, typically the lure will slid on the leader, and because you already have holes and slots, it will just, the line will, or the lure will just go through the line with much less risk of being cut off than regular soft plastic. So that's why that MinWaow with the two options, one with the jig head, one with the wide cap hook, is a great addition to your line for any largemouth and smallmouth bass angler, like I do love fishing.